Yo, everybody, your boy Joseph here,
And Carlos,
and this is
the
The
passenger
Passenger
seat.
Seat. All right, welcome back, writers. Today we've got, last week we did the 80s, and now we're moving into the 90s with
The
another.
90s.
The 90s, it was really close to the 2000. But yeah, we are moving into the 90s with a movie that we actually happened to mention last week, and that is
That's true.
one of my personal favorites, and that's American Pie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ooh, boy. Oh, I get excited. I guess we're gonna do the same thing for this film as we did last week, where we talk a little bit about what American Pie is about, a couple of facts, factoids, and
Yeah.
we can jump into some fun facts and followed by how we felt about the movie.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know, this is a movie that came out in 1999.
Mhm.
Massive success with it overpassed the budget they used for the movie. Um, I guess quick plot. American Pie is really simple. There's five friends who make a pact to lose their virginity before prom. Well,
Bef-
okay,
Before or
four, because
on,
Stifler doesn't count because he's already lost his virginity.
and he wasn't in the
So,
pact. He wasn't in the pact either. He wasn't there for when they made the pact. Um, so the pact was for like you said, for them to lose their virginity before or on prom. Prom was like the deadline. If you couldn't
yeah.
get laid by prom night, you were a lost cause. Um,
So definitely it definitely, like, if you think about it like that, it's definitely a simple plot. But if you have not seen the movie before, there's so much that happens in between that moment
yeah.
of them trying to accomplish that. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I think if you haven't seen the movie, first of all, I don't know how you would perceive it, you know, in today's world because
Yeah,
it's
I guess that's true.
it's very sexist movie. A lot of the jokes are dated, but then again, if
You're not wrong.
if you grew up in that time, you found this movie hilarious because you were young and you were dumb, and that's the kind of movie that we liked, as kids.
Essentially, yeah.
Um, so yeah, like you said, it came out in 1999. It's a sex comedy, which is very weird to say, right? There's been a couple of sex comedies, but they're like uncommon. Well, I feel like American Pie opened the way for movies like Superbad. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
But yeah, it was directed by Paul Weitz is how you pronounce his last name. Paul Weitz.
I think so. I think
Um,
what the amazing part of the director was, this was his first movie.
yes, it was his
That's
directorial debut.
that was crazy.
Oh,
I didn't realize that until I read info.
but even more interesting was the fact of the writer. It was written by Adam Hers, I believe. Hers.
Sure.
And the interesting thing about Adam Hers, which I was going to leave for the fun facts, was the fact that he wrote the script in 6 weeks.
I mean, it's interesting, yeah, because it became such a massive success. But it's that, I don't know. I think like it.
You don't think it's that
I
complex of a movie to just to be that surprised by the fact?
no. I mean, uh, writing a movie in general is hard. It's like writing a book. To
Hmm.
do it in 6 weeks is very impressive. But you're not on that level of like, like, oh, it's that big of a movie. It's very simplistic, but at the same time, like, it packed a punch for that generation.
Yeah, I think it all depends on perception. I mean, sure, it's not like a movie that you know critics are gonna hold up on a pedestal or anything, but it's just great for what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely what we've mentioned in our last video. No matter what the critics say, just became a cult following.
Hmm.
It's a classic now.
It
Well,
spawned what, like 8 sequels? Like, okay, not I'm sorry, that's incorrect for me to say. It spawned 3 or 4 sequels, and then all the other ones are
with
like
the original
spin-off.
cast.
Right, all the other ones are spin-offs. Because
The
we had a
recent one came out on Netflix.
right. But we had American Pie the original, American Pie 2, American Pie which was the wedding. Then we had Reunion, and I believe it's only those four for the main movies.
That's true. Well, speaking about four movies with the main cast, I guess we should name off the characters.
Yes. So we've got first of all, we have a huge ensemble for the cast, right? We've got, and I'm not even going to be able to mention all of them. We've got Jason Biggs, who plays Jim. We got
Well, before let me stop you. I just before it was those guys I think became huge because of this movie though. I don't
y-
think they were big at the time.
I'm not sure on all of them. I do know for a fact that the guy who played Stifler, his name's Sean William Scott. So Sean William Scott, which again, this was another one of the fun facts. He only got paid 8 grand for playing Stifler.
Oh man,
8 grand. That's like garbage money. That's I mean, for an actor, for an
bad
actor.
for an
Um,
actor. That's pretty bad.
but then again, that's where you got to start. I don't really think I've seen other movies where Sean William Scott is like, like a huge star on film or anything like that. At least not as
Well,
much, not as much as he
the
was in American Pie.
the other successful movie for Sean William Scott because he was one of the successful actors to come out of that movie was Dude, Where's My Car with
Oh, you're right. You're right.
which became a big hit as well.
You're right. But then again, you see the guy, and I think he has one of those curses, and now everybody sees him in any other movie, and it's like, oh, it's Stifler.
Yeah, it's
Um,
the funny guy. Like he's a funny actor. Like he can't like get into anything else.
yeah. Um, but yeah, going on with the cast, we've got Chris Klein. We have Allison Hannigan, who plays, geez, I forget her name. One time at band camp.
Which I don't remember her name, but a lot of people, if you have not seen American Pie, I bet you have seen How I Met Your
How
Mother,
I Met Your Mother. Right. So everyone,
and she's Lily in How I Met Your Mother.
yes. We've got Natasha Leone. We've got Thomas Ian Nicholas. We got Tara Reid, Mena Suvari, Eddie K. Thomas. Again, Sean William Scott, and of course, we can't forget Jim's dad, who was played by Eugene Levy.
Does
What
he
do you?
get, does he get a name?
Yeah,
Is he
it's
is
Noah Levinstein.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, throughout the four movies, is he just Jim's?
No, no, it's Noah Levinstein. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about American Pie, and I swear to God, if I could pitch this idea to Universal, I would. So Noah Levinstein is actually accredited, or it's hinted in the movies that he's responsible for a lot of the big things of American Pie. He's known for bringing the Bible to, you know and handing it off to the students, or I think he was a student when he obtained the Bible.
For
Um,
those of you who don't know, when we say the Bible, I know what you guys are thinking, but no, we're not talking about that Bible.
it's the
The
sex
Bible
Bible.
was literally a sex book that was passed down generations of that high school for people to write different sex moves in.
Right, right, right. Tips and tricks of the sex trade. Um, yeah. So and he's also accredited for starting the Naked Mile. For those what's the other one? The Beta House. For starting the Beta House games. It's crazy the story behind Noah, and I feel like what Universal should do is that they should just go ahead and make a movie about Noah Levinstein's like life. I think that would be an awesome American Pie movie. We see how he gets the Bible, how he started the Naked
Mm.
Mile, how he did the Beta House games, everything, and I feel like that would be super cool. But that's aside from the point for a different video or something. What else can I say about the movie? It won 9 awards,
Mm.
including best soundtrack, and it won the Golden Slate Award for best teen movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, Plus, like I said, best soundtrack. It had a couple of really good songs.
That's true.
Which ones
And then
do you remember any?
I remember the ones from Blink-182 that kept appearing in the movie because they themselves have appeared in the movie.
Yes, yes, you're right. They made the appearance for when Jim and Nadia were doing the the webcam show.
That's
um,
actually crazy because that movie has so many scenes where it's like famous now. Like the things they do is like so popular now. The pie, the
hey,
videotape, the
I was about to say,
Stifler's mom.
hey guys, what does third base feel like? You want to handle this one, Oz? Like warm apple pie. Dude, I don't know. The movie's just hilarious. But yeah, speaking, going back to the soundtrack, there's a couple of notable artists on that soundtrack. We have Bare Naked Ladies, which is that one song at the very end of the movie where Jim's dad is dancing. It's like Chickadee China, the yeah, that song.
You mean the
Uh,
only song? Yeah, the only song when you think of Bare Naked Lady?
yeah, that is true. Damn, I'm sorry. That must be sad. One hit wonders. Third Eye Blind, with Semi Charmed Life. You had songs from Everclear, Duke Daniels, Simon and Garfunkel, which is "Here's to You, Mrs. Robinson."
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's with Stifler's mom.
that's Stifler's mom, dude. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, Stifler's mom. Wasn't American Pie the movie that coined MILF? Or
I I think, but I'm not gonna put all my I'm not gonna be 100% about that. I have no idea.
right? I feel like it is. MILF, MILF, MILF.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but I'm you know what I mean. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say for sure.
Okay, so other than Simon and Garfunkel, we also had music by Etta James, Nora Jones, Marvin Gaye, and this might seem super interesting to you, but uh, Simple Minds, Don't You Forget
Oh
About Me was
wow.
also on that soundtrack.
We made a pact. You can't break that. You guys are just gonna have to. Have to what, Kev?
Isn't
That's
that
funny.
crazy? Yeah.
That is crazy. But it makes somewhat sense because Breakfast Club was a teen movie in the 80s, and this
Right.
is a teen movie in the 90s.
Right.
And just like comes off of tropes like that. It's pretty great. And
Mhm.
then I think either it was early 90s or 70s, and early 80s or the 70s, they had Dazed and Confused and Breakfast. You know what I mean? Like there's always like a teen movie that was like bam, like
Mhm.
a staple.
Yeah. So a couple of fun facts, right? Well, we already said a couple of them. But the original title of the movie was actually untitled teenage sex comedy that can be made for under $10 million that most readers will probably hate, but I think you will love. Yeah.
Kind of a long title, but yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's the whole point. Um, the movie was originally supposed to be NC-17, and
I can see that.
yeah, I mean 90s, and then you got full blown, you know, uh,
A lot of things.
like not full blown nudity, but you had like Nadia showing her boobs, and I guess that was, oh my god, super
Yeah.
sexual. So, what's her name? Allison Hannigan. She ad libbed the line while she was having sex with Jim, at the very end of the movie, where she goes, "What's my name? Say my name. Say my name, bitch." That part, she ad libbed it. which
That's actually
is
funny.
it's I find it especially hilarious coming from her.
Yeah, she's actually really famous now.
Yeah,
She's a really popular actress.
yeah,
She's hilarious in that movie, and her role obviously changes in the next upcoming sequels, and she becomes more important. She becomes more mature. All of them do.
yeah.
I feel like the movies that contain the main characters were honestly the best movies. Very hilarious, but we'll get into that in another video because we're talking about the original. So
Right, right. So, another fun fact that you might find funny: the apple pie was actually from Costco, and a Costco
why
in
does first
Long
of
Beach,
all,
California.
why
Yeah,
does that matter?
because people like to know these facts.
Okay.
Um, and get this: you mentioned Blink 182, but do you know that the wrong drummer was credited? Yeah, they credit.
Was it the original drummer?
Yeah, Scott Rayner.
Uh,
So they credited Scott Rayner when it was actually Travis Barker who
Travis.
was
Oh my
who was in the movie.
god, that's messed up.
Yeah, feels bad, man.
They just looked at a list and be like, oh, these are the guys.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Let's look it up on Wikipedia and just copy paste.
Wikipedia? Yeah.
um. But yeah. Okay. So those are all my fun facts. I guess now let's just mention our thoughts and our feelings on the movie.
Well, I actually did. I waited a long time to see American Pie. Like, I didn't see American Pie until much later because it came out in 1999. But I didn't see it until almost high school. And it was a friend of mine who showed it to me because she was an extremely big fan of American Pie. And after that, I thought it was hilarious. I had to see all the other movies, and I managed, to do so. And it's really it's super funny. And I look back at it now, and it gives you this feeling of like when you were young, because yeah, sure, you can sort of feel that way with Breakfast Club, but this was so much compared to our time, technically, but our high school time was later in the late 2000s. But obviously, like you mentioned before, you can rewatch it, and I can find it funny. You can find it funny, but any of the new viewers or viewers who haven't seen this before, there's a lot of jokes in there that might
Dated.
not be so tasteful.
Right. They're super dated. That's true. Um. Well, for me, American Pie, like I said, it holds a special place in my heart. Contrary to you, though, I saw American Pie actually totally opposite when I was really young.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw American Pie when I was like 7.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, huh? And I don't know. It's weird because at that age you look at life of high school and you don't understand those concepts yet. But as I grew older and I kept rewatching the movie, it again it was like the Breakfast Club was super relatable to some sense.
Yeah.
Where I was watching the movie and I'd be like, oh, this part reminds me of me and my friends, or
Hmm.
this or that or the other thing. Um, that being said, that even though the jokes are dated and everything, I feel like American Pie still has a really cool there's a really cool moral to the story.
Hmm.
Um, you know, Between like all the relationships that you see, they're all still, well, some of them, because Finch and Stifler's mom is weird. Stifler doing his thing is weird, but for example, Oz and geez, what's her name? I can't remember. Heather. So Oz and Heather had a really beautiful kind of relationship right at the end of the movie.
Mm.
Vicky and Kevin also had a really nice, resolution to their situation, and then Jim and God, I can't remember her name. Man, I can't believe I'm spacing out on that one. But
She's a tuba player.
it
Or
was
whatever she played. I don't know.
it wasn't tuba. I think it was a clarinet.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah. So again, American Pie holds a special place in my heart. It probably always will. Universal, if you see this video, make that no 11 scene thing happen. Let's make Jim's dad a thing. And yeah. All right. So that is our time for today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. And yeah,
And please tell us in the comment section below either what's your favorite American Pie film or your favorite American Pie character,
yeah,
and we'll see what happens from there.
yeah. Also,
Personally, mine is uh, what's his name? The guy who Jason Biggs plays. So was it
Jim.
Jim?
Yeah.
That's my favorite. He's so funny.
I just find Finch hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah, but I think Jim's dad is the funniest character for me. He's just so corny. It's great. But also, while you're commenting, tell us, what does third base feel like?
God.
All right. Hopefully you enjoyed this ride with us today, and hopefully you'll join us next time here in the
The
passenger
passenger seat.
seat.